Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Google UOB SME Leadership Academy webinar series. For those joining us the first time, my name is Gerald, and I lead the mid-market Google Ads business for Singapore. Today marks the last session of our retail segment, and I hope you've gained valuable insights and reached your understanding on the available tools and, most importantly, learned effective people management tips to help you lead your organization through these unprecedented times. Next week, we'll embark on a new segment, travel, and I hope you'll share this series with your network. In the meantime, let's keep learning and do go through the resources on the SME Leadership Academy and Grow with Google Singapore websites. Do note that the past webinars on retail will be available up to the end of today. Thank you once again for attending, and over to Pauline and Sean from UOB who will wrap up this series.
Thanks, Gerald. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Google UOB SME Leadership Academy webinar series. My name is Felix, and I lead the portfolio management function of UOB Business Banking Group. Thank you for taking the time to join us today for this final installment. Before we jump into the content today, I'd like to share a couple of tips to make this as good an experience as possible. Firstly, we highly recommend that you join the live stream via desktop for the optimum viewing experience. Secondly, we appreciate that you may have questions, so we have allocated 15 minutes Q&A at the end of the session. Please feel free to ask your questions throughout. You can do so via the comment section below, and please leave some time for your comments to appear after posting. Finally, we'd love to hear from you. Toward the end of the session, you will see a feedback survey appear. Please share your thoughts. They will be valuable inputs for our ongoing and future efforts. On that note, let's get started. In previous sessions, you have heard from Google on how you can get your business online and promoting it. Today, we will be sharing with you how to build on what you have learned from Google and adopt tools and systems to take your retail business online and manage your back office remotely. To further support on your business transformation journey, we will also share with you how you can tap into the support programs and mentor network of the FinLab to accelerate your digitalization plans and to better prepare your business for recovery. This will be followed by the Q&A segment. With that, I'd like to hand it over to Sean, UOB's Regional Partnerships and Channels Lead, to share on productivity solutions for your business.
Thanks, Felix, for that introduction, and hello and welcome everybody to our session today. So very glad to get an opportunity to talk with you about this very relevant and timely topic around taking your business online, and in particular looking at retail and taking that online from an e-commerce perspective. So we can move on there, thanks. So what we're going to cover today, and I'll try and keep this fairly practical around the solutions that we offer and some tips and guidance on how to move towards this direction. We'll be looking at the UOB BizSmart suite and solutions, the tools that we have, what they do, things like that. We'll be looking at taking your retail business online, and not just in terms of what tool you might use, but considerations you would want to take in terms of understanding how you can do that. And then next steps and actions to close out. So the first question, thank you, on the next slide there, cheers. So first we're going to get into the BizSmart suite and solutions. Now on the next slide, you'll see a bit of information about, essentially the logical question might be, why? Why is UOB talking to me about business solutions? So essentially, we've listened to our customers over quite a long period of time, and the role they're asking us to play is changing. And essentially, people are looking for us to not just interact, but know what to do and how to help our customers, looking for closer engagement and ways that we can help you with non-financial solutions. And across the board, customers are just expecting more. And so we're trying to meet that need and build on our expertise in the small business space and leverage our knowledge around technology and tools to bring you these opportunities to adopt solutions to grow and sustain your business. So on the next slide, what we have here is the configuration of the BizSmart solution suite. So in the core, we have SAP-powered enterprise. This is essentially the business operating solution that you would log into and use to run your day-to-day business. We'll get into more of the detail on what it has inside it in a moment, but attached to that is our partnership with HR Easily, which is our HR management solution. Again, digitally giving you the ability and opportunity to run payroll, leave, claims, time and attendance, understand who's working in your business at what times, and without manual or paper trails required. And attached to that, we have a vertical industry solution perspective, and this is where it's much more relevant for you guys today. Thinking about procurement, particularly in the fresh goods space and F&B, Easy Procure is a solution we work with there. And most relevant to you today is Shopmatic, is our e-commerce solution to help retail businesses branch out and expand their businesses online. So on the next slide, what we have is a viewpoint on what BizSmart Core, in terms of our business operating solution, entails. And one of the key takeaways here is considering how, when you use a solution, is it a single standalone solution? And even if that's currently a manual process, if you want to take your business online and take your business remotely, particularly in these times with distributed workforces, you need your business solutions to talk to each other in terms of raising invoices, managing bills, seeing your receivables and payables, and then also looking at your customers and deciding through CRM viewpoints, who do you want to sell to, who are good customers, and who do you need to chase up with? So all that information needs to sit in a relatively centralized repository, which is what BizSmart offers, and along with the ability for multiple people to log in and use at the same time, which is pretty critical, right? So looking at some of this stuff, you've obviously had a second to read it. So accounting and financing, pretty critical for your back office. The CRM I mentioned before, bank level integrations, and this is important for doing your daily bank reconciliation. So taking your online takings, or even if you're currently able to run physically, taking those physical takings and reconciling them. As I mentioned, payroll and HR and various other integrations we have connected to those capabilities. On the next slide, a bit more relevant, I think, is how can you actually use these attributes and qualities to run your business remotely? So when I talked about the up-to-date accounting and banking, anything that's physical and paper can only live in one place at a time. And when you start sending WhatsApp images and things like that around the place, it's not an entirely secure way to handle your financial data. So the best thing you want to do is have a solution that multiple parties, as are required, can log in and do what they need to do around your accounts, around your receivables, payables, and engaging with your customers. We have the direct daily banking reconciliation, the bulk payment facility. So this is a feature that's just recently been coming online, where you can tee up, execute, and command a bulk payment to a range of people that you need to pay bills for, and execute that through the BizSmart solution with authorizations inside our online banking application. So these things will work seamlessly together with the required approvals and authorizations built in, of course. In terms of managing your business on the go, this one's really important, right? Your real-time insight and control over the business. If you've deployed this solution to salespeople in the business or someone who's in charge of purchasing and inventory management, you want to know that things are happening when and how they should be happening. So this is how we can give you the insight to see what they're doing in terms of outputs, not necessarily in terms of watching the small pieces move around, but in terms of being able to see, has those sales documents been generated? Have we sent follow-ups to our customers in terms of outstanding invoices and such? The SAP Business One component, this is where the business, as it grows, can use a solution that will grow along with it. And scalability is important, particularly if you're taking this online remote working journey. You want to know that you're not going to have to change a solution, or your solution won't work as the business succeeds. So we have a pathway for you to go from the enterprise Bismart core solution powered by SAP all the way up to being on a full-blown version of SAP for a full enterprise level business. Integrated and digital solutions. I talked about this in terms of the data integration and the payment integration already. With the integrated collection capabilities, you've seen in some of the other series data about or information about UOB's QR collection capabilities that we have. So this is built into Bismart, where you produce sales documents, or if you are physically in front of a customer and you don't want to be taking cash anymore, like a lot of people don't or can't, you can use this facility to take a pay now payment based off of a dynamic QR code, which means you know who you've charged how much, you get an authentication and a notification for that actual money in your bank account, and you get a detailed reconciliation file from that. So it gives you a lot of control over information and an easy way to collect payments online without incurring any costs. Finally, connectivity. So we are connected into several business networks such as Peppol and NTP. For those of you that's relevant to, I think you'll know about that, so we won't dwell too much on that. So that's essentially, in terms of the solution that we have, how you can use various components of it to work remotely. What we would do in terms of a deep dive into the solution, I could spend 2 or 3 hours taking you around, which is why we're taking it somewhat high level today. But when at the end of all of this, we'll let you have a way to connect with our team. They can take it through to you in more detail and show you how it would work more specifically for your business. But the core takeaway here is the capabilities you need around invoicing, billing, inventory, CRM, and general sales management are all capabilities we have that you can use with a distributed workforce using Bismart. So from here, I want to step into our next section, which is talking about taking your retail online. And I think as we agreed, this bit is much more critical for your businesses in particular. So we'll move forward here. Thank you. Why should be fairly obvious in terms of why we should think about e-commerce at this point in time. There are, even before things like the pandemic, there are obvious indicators that retail consumers are much more inclined to search, find, and then more so now purchase online. So it's a space that just simply can't be ignored. You can see the numbers here speaking to that. The one that I haven't put in is nobody can go out anyway at the moment, so it's a pretty important time to be online. And you see in the next slide, we've actually got some pretty good examples of this, where phenomenally, JCPenney and a few other very large retailers in other countries are facing down the barrel of bankruptcy because they simply hadn't bothered or didn't take the time to adopt online e-commerce capabilities, even just having a digital store. So it can happen to anybody, right? Whereas on the other hand, Walmart's a good example, and there are other examples as well, where businesses have had really good successes because they were primed and ready for this disruption and this new trend of purely going online. So moving on, the other thing to take into account is there's a lot of help. At the moment, there's a huge amount, in particular right now, there's a huge amount of motivation across the spectrum of key industry players and government and everybody else that wants to support and help you, us included. So it's a great time to take advantage of grants, support, and sessions like this, where we really want to help you take those steps forward. But what should you be considering? So I wanted to get some practical information to you today. On the next slide, you'll see when you're thinking about taking your business online, it's really easy to say, I'm going online. But in reality, where are you going? What are you doing? And who are you talking to? And these are really actually very important questions because they'll dictate the types of tools you use, the way you run your business, and the types of things you should be focusing on. So thinking about the e-commerce landscape, are you going to use, and this is a simple way to look at how businesses and consumers are selling and buying and communicating with each other across a few examples of these platforms. Some of these areas of the landscape are places you want to be working from a brand and marketing perspective, and some of them are places you want to be owning potentially in terms of this is a core category for you. People who buy and sell beauty products, for example, you're very much going to have a brand presence and a voice in this consumer to consumer space because peer-to-peer is important in that area, just as an example. So it's about thinking about what's important to your business and where in this landscape do you need to have a presence? And then subsequently, how do we do that? So looking at the next slide, I've broken it down a few things you should consider about which of these sales channels. Now, I mentioned before that consumer to consumer space, that's a very marketing centric proposition. Just thinking purely about sales here. Your own store is kind of the foundation of this. If you have your own store, you own the customer experience and journey. But if you own it, you have to build it. And so there's some considerations around how you build and proposition your brand, how you demonstrate your products, and how you take customers through a happy and joyful experience of finding you, engaging with you, and purchasing from you. If you step then into social channels or step into marketplaces such as Q10 and Lazada and those kinds of guys, you lose control of that customer engagement, but you open up to scale. And through social, we're opening up to a conversation space that can allow you to talk to so many more people, even if they're not transacting. It could be the start of a journey through to a marketplace where they make a purchase. But to consider in the social channel, there's often not fulfillment connected in by the social channel itself. You may not have payments and shipping integrations and the lengthy and leaky intent to purchase cycle, which means there could be quite a few touch points that they see your brand. They may not buy your product, or they may be inspired to buy that type of product, but look elsewhere. So in that space, you have slightly less control. From a marketplace perspective, it's highly competitive and very commodity driven. In this, people are basically looking for the lowest dollar cost. And so finding a way to make sure that the customer is perceiving your product or your proposition to be a value-centric proposition is difficult, but it's an important consideration here. There's a high transaction cost in some of these cases, so to be careful of that. And the ownership of the customers and this idea of remarketing. In the social channels, if people click on your ads and your content, you get bits of information that tell you about that. In the other spaces, you may not get so much insight because the customer is largely in a marketplace-owned funnel. So this is the trifecta, if you will, these three positions to think about. It's not to say do one and not the other two. In reality, you should be doing all three to some degree, but it's just understanding the benefits and the considerations of risk in terms of that customer journey and their likelihood to purchase from you. So in the next slide, thinking practically about what you should really be looking for. This starts looking more and more complicated, but this area tends to have a lot of jargon in it. Again, there's Q&A at the end. If I say something that seems it's not obvious or clear, just shout it out there. But in reality, these are just words often to confuse you. They're very basic principles. We're talking about how we sell and how we market our solution or our products. In terms of capacity, this is important where if you buy a solution that can take you to the first 1,000 customers and then the website can't function with more capacity, then you're going to have failure. So you just need a solution that has the capacity to expand. That's basically it. Reliability and security should be very, very clear. You need security to make sure you don't get fraudulent or anything else like that going on in your web environment. SEO enabled, for anyone who's not clear, SEO is basically search engine optimization. It's simply using words that label your things so that when people search for those things, they find them. And that's the very basics of it. If you write a short paragraph, use words that succinctly relate to the thing you're talking about. And then when people search, they're more likely to find you. There's a lot you can do in this space, but that's the essentials of it. Online marketing capability, clearly, as we said, where and what channels you wish to market to, can your solution talk to those channels? From an integrated payment gateway, obviously you need to get paid, and having options there, depending on which countries you're talking to, adds value as well. Logistics, if you can't deliver it, they're not going to buy it, right? So you need to have a solution that will talk to multiple logistics solutions in various countries and markets, because obviously the big benefit of going e-commerce is going beyond Singapore, and you need to be able to look at solutions that will deliver your products around the world. And also the shipping management in terms of fulfillment between last mile delivery and actually going from a warehouse to that last mile. is that built in? And multiple sales channel push. As I said before, between the social channel, the e-commerce platform channels, and your own web store, can you manage to sell in all three at the same time? That's important. So in the next slide, what I want to do is just take you through the solution that we have for these types of challenges. We work with the partnership with Shopmatic. And right off the bat, what I want to say is if you take away nothing else, for all of the things I'm talking about here, they essentially treat it as a single package. They will come and do everything I'm talking about for you. And the reason that's important is because if you get bits of it wrong or you don't know how to do it, you can get stuck or lost. And they don't want that to happen, and we don't either. So just take that away from it. If you come back and check it out in more detail, just remember they'll help you with all of this stuff. So I just want to take you through a few things that they can do. If we can go through the next, thank you. So in terms of capabilities, this unlimited product uploads, some solutions will charge you by the number of products you upload and sell. So obviously that's not great, right? Because over time that can add up. They don't do that. The design templates, I'll come back to that. That's about your web page. I want to talk about that in more detail in a minute. The payment integrations, as I said, your ability to take payment from multiple payment channels is important because different customers in different markets will expect different capabilities. Social sharing is your ability to push content and messaging about your sales and solutions or about your products through to various social channels. And that integration capability is something they have. Your domain name is something that'll help you find. This is the name of your web page, super important so people can find you, but you need a name that's available. So that can be tricky sometimes. In terms of your automated logistics, they have plugins for partners that will deliver and fulfill your sales nearly globally, but in most markets, there's solutions there. And selling on marketplaces and social. As I said, these various sales channels, they have the ability through integrations to sell through those other spaces and propose your products and put them up on a digital storefront. And data analytics and insights. This is pretty important to know if you spend money on a campaign to sell through Facebook, for example, and then you also sell through Q10 or Shopee, how do you know which one is paid dividend? So it's very simple that the solution will track those sales activities based on information from those integrated solutions and share them back with you. So you can see what's working, what's not working. And it's a bit like having your dials and levers in front of you. You know, where do you dial up and down your investment and focus so that you can sell the right products in the right place? The reason this is differentiated is because not all the other solutions have all of these capabilities in one place. And other solutions that might also have most of these capabilities, they'll sell you the platform or they'll sell you the solution or the tool. They may not do as many things to help you get started. This is a pretty big differentiator for Shopmatic. They will come, they'll take photos of all your images, they'll help you upload them, they'll help you find your web page, domain, and get you started from there. So we'll just move forward here, just conscious as well, I might take up too much time. We don't want to do that. So a few quick fire things. Managing your product catalog, what you're selling, is on mobile and desktop. So you and other people in your business can see that. In the next slide, order management dashboard simply lets you see of who's ordered, where are those products at, what's happening, what's their status, and whether or not they've been delivered. Basic, but very critical information. This one here, in terms of the intuitive design builder, is super important. For anybody who wants to have a web page and a digital retail store, if you don't know how to build a website, and I don't, it's scary, right? Whereas these guys basically have a tool that's built on some templates that allows you to simply type in the words and drag and drop the objects or items that you want in terms of videos and photos and stuff like that. And it just simply distributes it onto your website for you. It does the coding almost by magic. This is really valuable because building a web page is scary. And if you go for a custom-based web page, which might be attractive if you have a very differentiated brand, but you have to maintain and manage that, and that can be expensive as well. This is a fantastic way to simply start, and maybe you go bespoke or custom at a later point. In the next slide, thank you. So our next steps and actions, essentially what we're saying here on the next one is thinking about this go live checklist. And just considering whether it's us or someone else, if you're going online, just think about these things that'll help you make sure you have everything in order, and yet you're at least ready to upload your product somewhere and start selling and trying. So from a website perspective, you need a domain name. You have to know what you're going to call yourself so people can find you. Basic, but important. In terms of a logo file, taking photos and naming them all correctly is all to do with the search engine optimization piece. But then just simply having everything ready. Do you have logos? Are they the right resolution? Do you have fed photos? And as I said, the next one, the hero brand images. Do you have content to support that web page so that when people find it, they have a positive experience? Because that's what it's all about, giving them a good experience from a customer perspective. Do you have everything for your product, your photographs, all the images you need, the right pricing, accurate and succinct descriptions, and your pricing and selling list and all of that relevant information? So you got to package all of that up. In terms of operations, whether it's PayPal or something else, you need a way to digitally collect money. Obviously, we want to help you with that as well. Your email accounts, your phone numbers, just simple stuff around support and engagement. Do you have the basic infrastructure for that? And policies, terms and conditions, really easily overlooked, but you don't want to be the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff, as they say. Before something bad might happen, make sure you know where you stand in terms of how you want to service your customers. Will you give discounts? Will you take returns? All that kind of stuff. Really, really important when something does, inevitably things go wrong. And then the last one is the market related. Do you have the right keywords? Do you know what you need to say? Do you know what you want to highlight in terms of your search engine optimization? And the bio of your business, who are you? What are you saying? What's your value proposition? And then your social media assets. And these are things like little tiles, little imagery, little value propositions, just written things. So for all of this, just to know, Shopmatic will basically help you with all of that. And that's right out of the box. So from here, sign up today. We'll be sharing a QR code later on that's got a sign up link to BizSmart as a whole. And through there, we'll be able to take you around our solutions, give you a much more detailed viewpoint. There's a huge amount of detail behind it all, but it's actually relatively simple once you get up and running. And that's the part that us and our solution partners are really dedicated to helping you with. Finally, make a plan and actually do it. It's really easy to look at all these things and then get this analysis paralysis, and it just seems too hard, whereas it's not that hard. We're here to help. And then make sure you take advantage of the grants and support, which we can guide you through as well. So finally, just wanted to say thank you. This whizzed by very, very quickly. I was hoping I could give you a bit more time. But look, we want to help you. Reach out to us. We can take you through this journey, and everything's going to be okay. So from here, what I'm going to do is hand over to Pauline Sim, who's our co-head of the FinLab. She's going to be taking you through what's next on your digitalization journey and what exciting things the UOB FinLab is coming up with next. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean. I hope everyone can hear me clearly. So yeah, as Felix has shared earlier, I think many of you have gone through the meaningful and very insightful sessions with Google and with the past speakers. We are here today to really share how you can continue the journey beyond the learning to implement and to take action, to borrow Sean's words. And then really after you have taken action to see the value creation for your own business. So I'll jump in. Here to share on the FinLab Online, and I'll start off with a quick introduction about who the FinLab is. If you can go to the next slide. So the FinLab is an innovation accelerator by UOB. We started in 2016, helping tech startups who want to come to ASEAN to scale and to expand and grow. And in 2018, we expanded our program to help SMEs who want to digitalize through adoption of tools and to scale in the region as well. And we have done that in Singapore in 2018. And in 2019, we brought the program to Thailand and Malaysia. So over the past many years of running the acceleration programs, we have met more than 1,000 tech solutions, many of them with tech solutions that are useful for SMEs to use. And all these solutions come from more than 48 countries. So we have seen a lot of tech solutions, and from there we help to curate the ones relevant for you. And next slide, please. And so these are the SMEs that we have worked with in the past 2 years in Singapore, in Thailand, and in Malaysia. We go through a 3 months intensive program with them, starting with workshops and learning, and then tech match, and then helping them to implement. We'll share more details in the next slide. So first of all, knowledge, because I think many SMEs, you want to know where to start and you want to know how to strategize going forward. You do not just want to adopt any solution and find out later that it might not work for your business. So we will have workshops and training with domain experts under the knowledge portion. And after that, we will craft together with the SMEs relevant problem statements that the SMEs want to tackle. And after crafting and prioritizing which problem statements will deliver the most impact for the business, we then will curate relevant solutions, technology solutions that the SMEs can use. And we present the tech solutions via a tech pitching format, where the SMEs will then select the ones that they want to work with. And after that, we all know that, when it comes to deployment of technology, typically there could be a lot of inertia or there could be a lot of challenges. And therefore, we also facilitate this pilot implementation, working with the tech solution and the SMEs to overcome the first inertia of using the technology and to see the results if it does deliver what it promises. And of course, we, after running the various acceleration programs offline, and these are very much in an offline manner, face to face, we saw that there's a lot of demand in the region. Many SMEs do want to get on board, but are not sure how. And we wanted to help many more SMEs, which is why this year we have launched the FinLab Online, which I will share more with you later. But firstly, I wanted you to hear from the SMEs themselves who have gone through this journey. And I think no better person than to have them speak directly to you. So we're sharing this video. I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll follow up after this. So if you can play the video. So while the video is being prepared,
this is a very important journey as part of our transformation process, because when we started the transformation journey, we faced a lot of issues.
On the FinLab
we faced a lot of problems.
Each of them have taken on different areas of this.
It actually helped us to solve quite a lot of things. Without FinLab program, we will have to spend a lot more time, talk to a lot more people. So this is a very compressed and very good experience that saves us a lot of time and effort.
Going back to school is challenging because of the schedule. We are going to school, the classes is 2 to 3 times a week, and it can be quite demanding. So now we understand why FinLab actually mentioned that it has to be an able, willing and committed SME so that we can actually learn.
Going back to school, the feeling was fantastic. We have learned a lot of technologies that's out there, made available to us SMEs. It's just that we don't have the avenue to go and find them until FinLab reached them to us.
It never fails to stimulate the mind, particularly in the area of digital technology. And this year is particularly more interesting because it covers the way technology, digital transformation is being used to help SMEs get into the market.
We decided to go on the FinLab program because we wanted to find a solution that would enable us to have visibility on the company's sales and also to track our customers if there's any fall-off. We are looking forward to learn about the various tech solutions and how they can apply into my current company's ecosystem and what kind of integration is needed and what is not needed as well.
The FinLab program impacted the business a lot. We always in the loss do not know which are the solution or IT solution better for the company. So with this FinLab program, we actually stream down and then we can identify what is our problem, and we will then find the right vendor, IT solution that can enhance the businesses.
Well, I think it's a good experience. The SMEs are extremely interested in what they are learning, and the topic, if not for FinLab, would not have been presented for them, because most SMEs are struggling with day-to-day issues, and here we are teaching them how to transform from a change management standpoint their businesses for success.
It's a learning journey for both parties, for us as well as for the SMEs, but it has been very, very enriching, very, very empowering. What I believe is that these lot of SMEs, they have the ability, and more importantly, they have the willingness to start on this process, and they will continue to see it through till its fruition.
All right, so I hope everyone enjoyed the video. So we are here to share on the FinLab Online, which is our effort to help many more SMEs to digitalize. If you can go to the next slide. Yes. So we have moved from program, which is what we did last year, to platform this year. We have a community of like-minded people that want to help SMEs to digitalize and brought everybody on this platform. And next slide. So what can an SME expect when they come to the FinLab Online? It is very not much different from the offline programs that we have run, very much in the same vein of learn, of match and implement. So under learn, of course, you will have your webinars. You also have infographics and guides by the FinLab to share with you on different areas of innovation. And on match, similar to the offline program, we will curate suitable tech solutions for you and then have them do online pitch to the SMEs that join us, and you can select the relevant tech solutions and then go on to implement. And of course, on the implementation part, in the past, we will hold workshops and share with you, and then we will join you for the meetings. But here we will host online sessions, especially during this period. And then we will have the tech solution providers to go through the areas and problem solve with you. And of course, the FinLab will also have sessions to help you on the journey. And next slide. So these are the 4 areas where, when you come to the FinLab Online, you can access the tools, the content, resources, and clinics and webinars. I'll go into detail in the coming slides. So under content, for Mentoring Leaders series, we have a series of sharing from our mentors, and we have actually kicked off our first series on change management and leadership by our coach and mentor, Peter Ong. This is an ongoing series, and at the end of the presentation, we do have a sign-up link to share with you how you can join us. Number 2, guest columns. This is where we invite all the partners that we have, which include government agencies, which include Institute of Higher Learnings, who will come and share and give their insights on digitalization in the region. Number 3, Becoming Giant series. This series is really about you, about the SMEs that have gone through the journey successfully. You have a lot of battle scars and insights to share, and this is where we will feature the stories. And number 4, Fueling Business series. This is where the FinLab, after engaging many SMEs in the past years, we will crystallize the insights and the learnings that we have and share these with the wider community. And we go on to the next slide. So for tools, I think many SMEs have told us that, after they attended webinars, they attended workshops, what's next and how do you go on to the next step? So we recognize that sometimes you do need tools to guide your thought process. You might have ideas of how to proceed, but you want to double confirm, you want some validation. So this is why we will be launching tools in June. And these tools will help you to crystallize how you can prioritize your digitalization agendas. And then, if you are an SME and you don't know where to start, how do you even start and which area to look at? We do have a business model canvas where you can look at the different segments and sections of your business. And then from there, identify the gaps and the opportunities for you to capture, especially after we go through COVID and we face a new norm. So under resources, there are a lot of good content out there, and many people have been running webinars and putting out articles. This is where we will consolidate the relevant and the good ones. And of course, it includes digitalization grants by the government agencies, not just in Singapore, but in the region. And then we also have our tech partners that have been working with our SMEs in the FinLab. So we know that they work and they deliver. And then they are also kind enough to offer promotion to the FinLab community. These bundles can be found on the FinLab online. Next slide. So on the clinics and webinars, we have tech solution providers that will be coming, and we have curated the list. If you are looking at a particular area of digitalization and you have not found another person, a tech solution provider, feel free to reach out to us. If it's in our curated list, we'll be happy to connect them with you. And of course, the FinLab will always want to connect with you. We will be having monthly sessions where we will want to engage with the community and speak with you and see how we can support you. And number 3, on the unboxing tech, this is where we have the tech solutions come in and pitch and showcase the innovation that is already out there. There's actually a lot out there, and I know given the limited time we all have in a day, there's only so many solutions you can meet or you can hear from. So when you join us for this, you will get to see the ones that we have curated that are innovative and that could work for your business. And next slide. So I think the question is, how does this apply to me as an SME as I watch this? We're happy to share that for all the SME Leadership Academy participants, you have automatic access to the FinLab online. We typically will require the SMEs to sign up for the FinLab online community, but for all of you, the access is already granted. So you just have to come on to the FinLab online site and check out all the content that we have, and we will continue to be building more and to providing more relevant content for you. Next slide. And we would like to share the first series that we have and how you can start engaging with us. So these 3 upcoming webinars are how you can join us. The first one coming up next week is actually an unboxing tech where we will showcase tech solutions covering content creation. So if you run your own website or you have your own social media, sometimes you will be struggling to create innovative, creative content every time on your own. So it could be too much, it could be very voluminous. So these solutions could potentially help you to create it in a better, more engaging way. So join us if you are keen to look at these innovative solutions. And then on our mentorship series, this is called First Things First. The next series is episode 3 of a 9-episode series by our mentor, Peter Ong. So Peter has had many experiences working with leaders in MNCs and SMEs on change management in their company. And because we have had feedback from SMEs that, right now is a very difficult time, the conversations with your team, restructuring your staff, these are all the challenges that you are facing right now. And with that, we worked with Peter to come up with this series. Episode 3 will be on 4th of June at 2 p.m. And it's a half-an-hour session where Peter will share on, hacks, different tips, frameworks on how you can plan your people engagement, how you can plan change management and execute it. And then on 11th of June, he will be having a fireside chat where we can meet him and engage him live and ask him all the pertinent questions that you have on your current challenges with change management. So in order to join us, yes, you just have to scan the QR code that's here, or you can go to our website, thefinlab.com, and you can find us there. Our email addresses are also there, so if you wish to engage, just drop us an email anytime. And with this, I conclude my session, and I'll hand it back to Felix for the Q&A. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Pauline, and thank you, Sean, I think, for all the sharing. So with this, we now go into the Q&A section. But just before that, just a quick reminder, you should see on your screen right now on the right, a feedback survey form. We appreciate that every one of you could please share your thoughts. Your inputs will be valuable as we move through this program. All right. So the first questions, perhaps Sean, you can take this up. So the question is there any trial for the UOB BizSmart, and how do I sign up?
Hi, yes, there is definitely a trial you can use. The sign up QR code is actually flashed on the screen now. To be really honest though, my experience has been when you try and just trial a solution on your own. You tend to have to go in and figure it out, right? And if you've not been trained, that can be a little bit daunting or a little bit difficult. So the best thing I would say is use the sign up button here. The team at the team we have here in Singapore, they'll take you through and actually give you a more detailed exploration, whether that's digitally or hopefully soon in person. We can get back to seeing each other. But they'll be able to give you a viewpoint that's more relevant to your actual business needs, because the solution has quite a few different capabilities in it, as you've seen from the slideshow today. So please do sign up, we'll connect with you, and we'll take you through it.
All right. And the next question is, do I need a UOB account for this? And at the same time, if you could also answer, there's a question on the grants. Which grant in particular covers online stores?
Good, great question. So for the UOB account one first, yes, you do need a UOB account as an operating account to receive the bank feed. You don't exclusively need to only bank with UOB before the primary capabilities of the bank feed transaction data and for the integrated payment capabilities and other banking integrated capabilities that are currently in production. There's some cool things coming out. Those all do require a UOB operating account. So that takes care of that. Your second question, Felix, about the grants. So the way the grants work, we're actually working with IMDA under a program called Curator, which means that we have the ability to collect a group of solutions and apply a grant funding across those solutions, including the implementation. The Shopmatic solution specifically is actually under the PSG grant stream, I believe. But there's often new things coming out, but you can rest assured because of UOB and who we are in the market, we're also very fast to catch on to any of these new grants and supports that are coming out. We can help you with exploring those as they come up.
Okay, and the next question is, okay, there's a question on what is the requisite to sign up with on UOB BizSmart, but I think you've already covered that. You can actually scan the QR, which is on the screen right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, maybe next question for Pauline. Is there any cost to join the FinLab Online's program?
Yeah, thanks, Felix. Thanks for the question. The FinLab Online is offered free to everybody that signs up. Yeah, so we just require you to sign up and provide your details, and then you can access all the content that we have put on the platform. And this is an effort to scale and to be able to support many more SMEs. Now, all of you know we are part of UOB, and this is UOB's way of value adding and helping SMEs to get started. So I hope that answers your question.
And besides Malaysia and Thailand, is there which region will be next for the FinLab?
So I mentioned the countries because we had run the programs in person. When we ran in Malaysia and Thailand, it was together with the UOB Thailand and UOB Malaysia teams on the ground and the local government agencies and partners. However, with the FinLab Online, it's almost borderless. Anybody in any of the region, any SMEs or tech solutions can actually come on board and benefit from the content that's already there. Of course, if you are looking at, if you are in Indonesia and you want to reach out to an Indonesian solution, then we could have Indonesian-based curated solutions in our base because we have seen and curated many. So that's where you might want to reach out to us, and then we can do that matching and that connection for you. But in terms of programs on the ground, once the situation improves in the different countries, we will again work with our relevant UOB teams in the countries to engage and reach out to the SMEs and see where are the key areas of needs that you have.
Okay, just before we move to the next questions, again, just a quick reminder, please fill out the feedback survey on the right. We greatly appreciate, your thoughts, for us to improve future sessions. Okay. Okay, what is the difference between, and this is for FinLab, what is the difference between getting matched to technology solutions through FinLab and then directly liaising with the solution providers themselves? And also,
Yes.
and as a follow-up also, I think there's a question of, is there any charge, to so-called work with UOB on this?
Yeah, so I think it is like, I'll use this analogy. If you go to a supermarket and you know what you want to buy, I want to buy milk, you head to the milk section and then you choose the milk that you like to buy. But then if you are not sure where to get started, you might need to have a guide and a process of understanding where your current needs are. So this is where the FinLab Online has the tools to help you to understand where to get started. And having reached perhaps an area where we recommend, okay, maybe you want to get started on building our own website first. And if you are keen to have us connect, that's where we will help to connect you to Shopmatic, for example, right, to get you started. And therefore, the journey is very much supported. And you just have to engage with us and our tech solution partners. Of course, there's nothing stopping any SMEs from reaching out to the SMEs, to the tech solutions yourself. So this is if you are very clear in terms of what you need and you are very clear that this tech solution is the one that you want to use. Many times what we have found is that SMEs need to compare, and you want to know why is this the best for me? And I mean, this tech solution provider has a pitch to me. How do I know if this is exactly what I want? Could there be others out there that are better? So which is why I shared that we have seen more than 1,000, and from there we curated the ones that SMEs can find useful. And then we also further validated through the feedback that our FinLab SMEs have given when they use the tech solutions. They will share with us their experience using this tech, and then we will fine tune it from there. Yeah, so I think that's the difference between a supported and guided journey and one where if you're very, very clear, you can, of course, zoom straight to that milk in the milk carton section. Yeah, I hope that answers. As to the cost, again, as you when you come up to the FinLab Online, there is no cost. So feel free to check out our site. Actually, it's available today to all of you. You can browse around, and then if you have any areas, any questions, just pop us an email.
Yeah, so I think on the costing itself, maybe Sean can supplement. I think there's a concern that some of these digital solutions, right, as a bundle or individually may sound costly, right? So I think they like to understand, is there a base case for the costing?
Yes. So one of the reasons I haven't gone through and shared a whole bunch of screens on pricing is because it can be a little boring in the detail and we don't have a lot of time today. So the best thing to do is reach out to us. The sign up is actually no obligation. So even if you sign up and you just want to know more, start there. With the pricing, it depends on what you're buying and it depends on your eligibility for the grants. To give you a comparison, the core BizSmart solution is in line, even though the capability is much broader. The pricing is quite in line with what you would expect for most of the cloud-based accounting solutions that are in the market. So we're relatively on par in that area, but with stronger discounts. The other thing to bear in mind is unique to UOB, our grant scheme allows us to supplement the cost of implementation, which is actually defraying this cost is a huge, huge benefit, because under PSG, you can defray the cost of the solution, but not the cost of the implementation. Under our grant scheme, you can. So that's 70% up to 13,500 if you have a large implementation requirement across 4 or 5 solutions, much less if you're buying 1 or 2. For Shopmatic, there's a single price for everything. And, oh, sorry, excuse me, I've quoted you wrong. For Shopmatic, there's no price up front. They've actually a very interesting business model compared to Easy Procure, which is the other solution, has a single upfront one-off price. Whereas what Shopmatic does is that they give you everything they need out of the box. It's for free essentially to start. And then they've a pricing model that's based on a revenue of sales. So essentially they're running a success model. So if you don't successfully set up your online store, configure your products, do all of those things I've been talking about, how to set this up and get it operational, then you won't make sales, in which case they don't make any money. So they're highly motivated to make sure you get it done well and that you succeed. So that's their pricing model.
Okay, thank you. And in the interest of time, we probably can allow just one or two more questions. But if you have more queries, please feel free to scan the QR codes online and you can post your questions to us. So this maybe to Pauline, can micro SMEs join the FinLab program, and what is the time commitment estimated, right, to start on this digital journey?
Okay, thanks for your question. I think you probably watched the video where some of our SMEs said that, well, it requires a lot of time commitment, very intense. That is our in-person face-to-face program. For the FinLab Online, we have managed to curate a series of content that you can also undertake as an online program. And the beauty of it is that it is at your own time, own target. So, whenever, whichever time suits you, you can access the webinars, and then after the webinars, use the tools, and then you will check off your journey on the checklist each time you complete a certain portion of the program. And then at the end of the program, reach out to us and let us know that this is what you have done, and then we will come in to support you in terms of the tech matching. So in terms of time commitment, it is actually really not a fixed 3 months period time. It is at your own time and your own pace, depending on how urgently you want to start the digitalization or deploy the tech solutions. So there is no fixed answer to that. It also depends on which areas of digitalization you want. But just suffice to say, we don't lock you in terms of a time commitment. You can feel free to access anytime you want. Yeah, and that's the answer to the second question. Your first question was, can micro SMEs join the FinLab program? Definitely. The platform is actually open to all. It is also open to early stage businesses, and even the mentorship content, helping how do you build a team, how do you engage your team. These are part of the mentorship series that our mentors have crafted together with us in the webinar series. So SMEs of any size can access this content. But of course, for digitalization areas, there's we have curated solutions that you can use and be deployed remotely. Some of the solutions, for example, might need some level of face-to-face, and these could be needs that are more complex. So where there are needs that are more complex, we will definitely still be keen to engage you. And this is when we can start our offline activities, where we will hold in-person clinic sessions, both in Singapore and also Thailand and Malaysia, to be able to speak to you and work with you on that. Yeah. So hope that answers. Thanks for the question.
Yeah, so I think we'll just have this last question, but I think you sort of already addressed it. So the question is actually, this SME, they have a current online system and they like to improve it further, right? And at the same time, they are thinking of exporting their business to Malaysia and Thailand. Would FinLab be able to support it? Now, I guess the short answer is yes, but I guess they will have to probably arrange a consultation session with you to take it further.
Yeah, correct. Reach out to us because our teams are already on the ground. They're also activating and engaging the local SMEs, even with the FinLab program. So, I'm based in Singapore, and then with the FinLab Online, we are connecting all the region initiatives. So just reach out to us. I know we are short of time. Yeah.
Okay, right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time and engagement today. We really appreciate it. As a last reminder, please fill out the feedback survey if you haven't. We hope you found the session of value and will join us for the upcoming webinars. Next week, we will embark on a new segment, Travel. The new series will kick off on May 28th, where Google will share the key Asia-Pacific and Singapore consumer trends in light of COVID-19 and what they mean for travel businesses. We've posted the travel series link in the comment section, so we hope you can share it with your network. In the meantime, keep learning. Do go through the resources on the SME Leadership Academy and grow with Google Singapore websites. Right. Once again, right, thank you for attending. Stay safe, everyone, and healthy, and we hope to see you for the upcoming sessions.
Cheers, guys. Bye.